morning, everybody. I know it's been a while since I've updated anything, so I'm sorry. There's just been a lot going on. But today is a super exciting day because I'm getting vaccinated. So I'm getting the first shot today. Definitely been crazy over here in Japan, to be honest. So Japan has been a little behind on getting people vaccinated. And on the 30th, 29th, 30th, I think that's when it was, they started sending out vouchers to people who are under 65. So my husband and I got our voucher in the mail and we did our best to sign up basically right away. It was a good thing that we did because the next day, so we got ours on the 30th. And then the next day, the 1st, it was announced that, if I'm remembering correctly, Osaka is gonna stop taking reservations for people who wanna get the first shot of the vaccine. So I am glad that I was able to get that reservation and I was able to get in so soon. Unfortunately, the 2 vaccination areas that are closest to me, those are only for people who are 65 and older. So I can't go to those, so I was able to make a reservation somewhere else. So the appointment isn't until 3:15. So I still have time, still morning. I'm gonna drink my coffee, gonna make breakfast. Also, I need to prepare for a very humid day because even in my little room here right now, it is pretty humid and I don't like it. But I'm just glad that it's not raining today because I also hate walking in the rain.
Right now, we're waiting in the gym for our turn. Workers went around to make sure all the paperwork, IDs, and vouchers were in the clear file. Right here, you see the clear file with our paperwork, our number, and a sticky note with our temperature and vaccination time. After our shot, we were handed paperwork, and the workers made sure that we understood everything and that we were feeling okay before leaving. Here you can see the tables where they checked your paperwork and all of these chairs. And here is the entrance, so this is the station where they took your temperature. We were exhausted, so we decided to order Domino's. We saw this pizza rice bowl and wanted to give it a try. They only had a few select toppings, but I just got the regular Domino's bowl while my husband got chicken teriyaki. Hey guys, so it's the next day. Last night I recorded what I was feeling and what the process was like, but when I was looking back at the footage, I don't know what happened, but it completely cut out. So I'm actually feeling really
tired and I think I'm getting a slight headache. So normally whenever I go out or I leave the house, I do get tired and like just kind of sleepy and I want to take a nap whenever I get home. So the same thing happened yesterday and I just wasn't sure if that was just my body or if it was the vaccine. So I ended up not taking a nap and I was somehow awake until 2:30 a.m. I believe. Today I woke up at 10 a.m. So I woke up, normally I'm hungry around that time, but I wasn't feeling hungry. It wasn't until around 2:30, I think it was 2:30, where I told myself, I was like, okay, I feel like I just, you know, should eat something. So I did, but I started feeling pretty tired probably about 30 minutes ago. Other than that, my arm is still pretty sore. I'm still trying to, you know, just move it, you know, just to get that blood flowing, but yeah, it still hurts pretty bad. So I wanted to explain what the process was like getting the vaccine here in Japan. But the place that my husband and I went to, it was very well organized. There was a lot of staff there, more staff than people, so everything went pretty smoothly. So we ended up getting to the venue around 2:45, even though our appointment wasn't until 3:15. So at the entrance, they asked if we had a scheduled reservation and we said yes, we are early. So first station, sanitize hands and they take our temperature. And then the next spot, they write down the time of our reservation, they write down our temperature, and then they give us a clear file with a number on it. So this was in a sports center. So we head into the gymnasium and to our right, there are a ton of chairs and that's labeled for 3. There was our group, which was labeled for 3:15, and then the next group, which was labeled for 3:30. So when we got there, there was about 10 people in front of us. So that was most of our waiting, was waiting for everybody to go through the process. They have you get out your questionnaire form. This is what it looks like. You have to fill it out. Let's put your address, your name, phone number, birth date, your age, and yeah, fill it out, and then you have to put the date and sign it. So they double check to make sure that all of that is filled out and to make sure there aren't any mistakes. They make sure you have your ID card out. So for me, that's the residence card. And then my husband also needed to get his health insurance card out. And then of course you need your voucher. So after waiting for a little bit, so yesterday was really humid. So of course in the gymnasium, it was humid as well. I'm really glad that I brought my portable fan with me because it definitely saved me. So when it was our turn, my husband did say like, oh, we are together. So we were able to go up to the first area. So there's basically tables set up and the workers, they check your voucher, they scan it, they check the name, they check the area that you live in, and then they check your paper to make sure it matches, and then they checked my residence card to make sure that everything matched on there as well. And then after that, we were taken to some desks that were kind of lined up, and the workers basically read through everything. So once we get the okay, my husband and we waited for, I don't know, like 30 seconds, not even probably. And then we went up to this longer table where there were 2 doctors, and it must honestly be very tiring for them to just be sitting there for that long, having to check everyone's paper to make sure that everything is correct. To be honest, I feel bad for them because it seems really tiring and that's something I would not want to do. So the venue that I went to, also by the way, everything was in Japanese. I didn't see any English signs around there at all. So I'm actually very glad that I looked up this form. I looked it up in English, so I knew what all the questions were asking, because otherwise I probably wouldn't, and I would be like, sumimasen, wakarimasen. So the doctor checks it, he signs it, and then they whisk us off to these aisles that they have, like aisles, and then there's like, of course, separators in between each of the chairs. So when I sat down, they put on a little sticky note that said 1 on it, assuming that that is because this is the first shot that I'm getting, so that they know. I sit down in the chair, I put my bag and stuff on the chair next to me, and then they're just like, okay, I'm gonna wipe you down with the alcohol. Is that okay? Like the alcohol pad. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like lifting up my shirt and I look over and, you know, she's getting the needle ready and she's like, okay, I'm gonna put the needle in ya. And I was like, okay. So that was pretty quick. I just sat down, just put my stuff down, and I was already getting the shot. So after I got that shot, they put up another sticky note on the dividers, and that sticky note, I'm pretty sure, was to say, okay, the shot is done and now she has to wait. I waited there for 15 minutes. Okay, so I waited for 15 minutes, and then 3 more workers were coming down the aisle, and I got worried because I was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to speak Japanese. I'm really not confident with my Japanese. So they took my voucher thing, took a sticker and put it on this sheet, I guess, you know, for paperwork, all that stuff. Scanned the barcode that is on there that says I got my first shot. And then they gave me this sheet. So I got my shot at 3:10, which was pretty fast because technically my appointment wasn't until 3:15. And this explains, you know, any side effects that you can have with the shot. So this is the other paper that we got. They wrote my name on there, and it's actually the appointment for my second vaccine. So that is 3 weeks from now. It looks like on our voucher, there's a little thing, I can't really show you, but it says certificate of vaccination for COVID-19. So I'm assuming that is our little certificate thing. I know I'm gonna have to keep that in a special place. So it has been basically a month now since I got my second vaccination. Basically, the process was exactly the same as the first time. We were running a little late to our appointment, but that was okay because they still let us in. And there weren't a lot of people there, which I kind of expected. They did stop reservations for the first dose of the vaccination because they wanted to keep the supply that they already had for people who can get the second dose. After we got home, I was a little tired and I did take a nap. When I woke up, my arms started hurting really bad. So later at night, I started feeling pretty warm and just kind of gross in general. So I took my temperature and I noticed that I did have a slight fever. However, the next day I seemed completely fine, and the only thing that was bothering me was my arm. I also did want to add that for the first vaccination shot, I did have health issues that I had to deal with. About a couple days after I got my first shot, my throat started to hurt really bad. I looked up side effects and it said sore throats were not side effects and you should go to a doctor. So I did go to the doctor about a day later because of some issue. I forgot why. You know how when you get a strep throat and you have like white little sores in the back of your throat? That's what I had. So he checked that out and I got medicine for that. So when I did get my second shot, I actually felt fine. The only thing that bothered me was my arm, and I'm actually pretty grateful about that. So yes, I am fully vaccinated, woohoo, and I'm so excited. Another thing that has been happening in Japan is that Japan actually released a vaccination passport. But the vaccination passport here is aimed at helping residents of Japan avoid travel restrictions abroad. I am planning on going back home in a couple months. So my husband and I are going to get the vaccination passport just in case. So the Japanese vaccination passport will have both Japanese and it will have English. So the vaccination passport will have your name, your date of birth, your passport number, the type of vaccination that you got, when you got your vaccinations, and also the place where it was issued. So once you have your vaccination certificate, you can go to your local ward office to get the paperwork, I believe. So in order to get your vaccination passport, you will need the application form, your passport, you will need your vaccination certificate, and your proof of vaccination. So yes, it does work going abroad, I believe, to certain countries, but the two biggest ones, China and America, are not on that list. I'm not sure what they will do with it in the future, because right now when you turn to Japan, it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. you still need to do the 14-day quarantine. So that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.